Sonic Frontier's main theme is a masterpiece, and it's not hard to see why, but it's only a select few key moments that have the chance to really prove this. In this video, I'll be taking an in-depth look at what makes Sonic Frontier's main theme, I'm Here, so good. To get the full effect, I would recommend you wear headphones while watching this, but it's okay if you don't. I'll explain everything as we go. The very first thing it does is Joy removes something unusual, but not too out of the blue. From a musical standpoint, this is an excellent move, and there's actually a good reason why, which is the reason that many producers opt for something similar to this technique. You see, if it were too outlandish, then many listeners would find it to be strange. Now that's not always a bad thing, but strange can very quickly be rejected, which is why when making music, producers have to be very particular. The song opens with an alluring piano arpegiation accompanied by a distinct, high, yet distant backing. The way they chose to do the opening of the song is actually genius in getting the listener hooked to listen to the rest of the song, and I'll tell you exactly why. But first I need to ask you something. You see, YouTube's been doing something very strange with my channel, and by very strange I mean showing it to less than 1,000 people. To put it simply, that pretty much equals 0 views, much less subscribers. So please, if you'd be so kind as to help me out, even if you don't watch the video all the way through, just hit the like button right now and leave a comment. I won't even ask you to subscribe. You can do that afterwards if you find my videos entertaining. But please, if you would just leave a comment and a like, that would help me out so indigenously much. Like I said, less than 1,000 impressions is pretty much no views at all. But as I was saying, why is this intro so integral to get you to listen to the rest of the song? I'll give you a hint. It has to do with how our brains perceive music and the concept of music theory. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it and it'll all be simple. You see, many listeners are used to hearing either major or minor scale. This song opens in something that's very similar to a minor scale, but not quite. It's called the Dorian mode. I went over what the Dorian mode is and a few other concepts in a video I did talking about the music in Genshin.
Most modern music is either composed in a major scale or a minor scale.
I'll put the link in the description, but if you're looking for a quick explanation, it's basically a minor scale with a slight variation. This makes it familiar with a tinge of mystery attached to it. Without too long ado, we then have the literal most excellent lyrics to ever be written. Oops, sorry about that. This is what I meant to play. Simultaneously as the lyrics come in, the piano switches an octave down. This adds weight to the song, a direction to the otherwise mysterious patterns. On the second revolution of lyrics, the wide and deeper string section comes in.
Can you hear the spirits sing those messages?
This is perfect for building tension as we go into the next part of the song. This is a very daring and expressive entrance, and although you may be bobbing your head to the massive drums, destructive bass, monstrous mids, this is literally the worst part of the song, and I'm not just saying that out of personal preference. I say it because the song's about to get a lot better as we go into the next round of verses. Yes, they boasted a fine meld of orchestra and rock, but as I said before, there are a few key moments in which the song really shines through. Unfortunately, this is not one of them, but how the song then goes into the verse is quite interesting and actually very skillful. Towards the climax of this rock interlude, the drums quicken and the guitar strumming changes as the orchestra is then introduced, but then all the chaos subdues as we ease into the next verse. It gives the feeling of accelerating to highway speeds and effortlessly melding into traffic. This is an excellent piece of music. Listen to how everything just rolls with each other. The drums interpret the guitars interpret the voice, and the voice interprets the drums. Not to mention the orchestra is still very present, and if you listen closely you can hear it just back there sliding through the whole mix. But one of my favorite things about this verse is how the drums answer the vocalist. Now listen closely to what I'm about to tell you, especially if you're a music maker, because this is a very important concept in music, and you probably didn't even notice it when you're listening to the verse, but it's one of the main things that keep people listening to music over and over again. Listen to how the drums roll after he finishes the first line of lyrics. See how it made the first and second lines of lyrics so cohesive that it's almost like it didn't even stop singing. Not only that, but towards the end of the drum roll there was a completely unique line of strings that began playing. Both of these came together to further the interest of the music and make every piece of it something new. They could have not done the drum roll and just left the strings out of it, but they went the extra mile and did both. Kudos. And again on the second line of lyrics we get another drum roll afterwards, only this time it's more aggressive. Why? It serves as a way to transition into the next phase of instrumentation. Genius. At the end of the verse we go straight into the chorus, and what happens here is actually sort of remarkable. The vocals are raw and some might even say unrestrained, while the chord changes completely as the lead belts out. You hear that? Listen to that soul. One more time. Pay attention next time. choruses of the song are by far some of my favorite parts, and they should be yours too. Why? It excellently encapsulates the feeling of heroism, bravery, and standing tall even in the face of seemingly unbeatable odds. These are all themes consistently recurrent throughout Sonic's history, and they're some of his most defining character traits. The music very well conveys a feeling of empowerment and taps into that adrenaline thrill, the rush, the excitement. Everything is working in nigh perfect harmony right here, and I don't just mean that everything's going at the same time. In fact, sometimes it can be the exact opposite, but when it counts, everything syncs where it should, as it should. Take a listen to this part in particular, the crowning strategy of the chorus.
Reaching far across these new frontiers with my life is
Hear how the drums are striking in syncopated rhythm with the vocals, leaving them for calculated and precise moments to fill, then returning when everything needs to syncopate up and agree on something. The moment at which he says "with my life" is poignant, and everything needs to come together to bolster that fact. But again, you can't have everything playing at the same time all the time, so these have to be very precise and at the exact right moments. I could go on for even longer about the chorus, but I think I'll move on because there's an even better part of the song that I really want to get to. The chorus comes to a rather abrupt end, and we step back down to key into the next verse. Not paying attention again, are we? Stay on point. Again, the key switches as we go into another mode. Now, if I'm being honest, I'm not too big a fan of this verse, and the most I have to say is that the rise they had into where the lyrics started was well played. The thing about it is, the exhilaration I just felt with the chorus and then this comes along, it just doesn't quite carry on that high feeling well enough, though I can see why they would choose to put it off like this. This verse is all around more intense than the first one, and the sentiment is even reflected by the choice of lyrics. In the first one we got "Can you hear the spirit sing?" but now it's "Can you hear the spirit shout?" I won't say it's bad, it's just not my taste, and there are better ways they could have taken this. Again, this part of the verse goes on a sort of highway ride like the first one, though I still like the second part of the first verse much better than this one. But after this next chorus, they managed to do something amazing, and it's closing on my favorite part of the song. But yet again, the bold entrance into the chorus cannot go without remark. With another change in key, the vocalist is back to belting out. Just listen to how he screams that out. Just once more. Bet you thought this was gonna be the duck again, didn't you? Don't be so easily distracted. Remember how I mentioned something about the instruments all syncing up to add importance to certain parts of the song? Well, here's one that I didn't mention earlier, but it's actually one of the most important pieces of the chorus. At the end of each chorus, we have a small space of silence, and this, in certain instances, can draw even more attention to the following part than having instruments all sync up for one final smash. And interestingly enough, the end of the chorus combines both of these concepts. I know what you're waiting for. That wicked guitar solo has been waiting to be heard this whole video. It's been lurking in the back, like a zombie in the closet, a monster in the grave, a phantom if you're imagining. Don't worry, we'll get to that very soon. But I want to address that pause there in the chorus first, because there's something very important you need to know about it. The silence is literally a way to add space between the pieces of music. And what I like so much about this part is that last lick of the drums. It comes in last, and it's almost like it beats everybody to the last hit. It feels nasty, but yet so satisfying to have that last little... just to stick in the pause right there. This whole small piece right here is the crescendo of the chorus, and it's reflected in every single aspect of the music. Right here, the chord switch to a rising riff. Right after the silence, everybody's absolutely slapping it with "Always to New Horizons." And as he says this, there's even a new riff in the strings and guitar that plays to solidify that this is what we came for. But then right after all that courage, all that excitement, all of that heroism, we descend into this dark, gritty, powerful guitar solo. If I'm being honest, this is by far not my favorite Sonic guitar solo. But it's the imagery it evokes that's really impressive. And how they come out of the solo is complete gold. The solo sounds like an Eggman robot rampaging Sonic's world, almost like the Egg Dragoon or Death Egg robot causing massive destruction. But then, we rise into an orchestral masterpiece. It sounds like the embodiment of all the struggles of frontiers, and this is at last the moment where victory is at hand. Boldening and invigorating, it's the perfect symbolization of all Sonic's efforts culminating in a final triumph. Take a listen. That whole sequence didn't send shivers down your spine, you must not have one. But fine, I get it. You didn't feel anything with that. But this last part right here deserves an Oscar. This is my favorite part of the theme of Sonic Frontiers. I'm here. And the strange thing about it is, it's literally one of the most minimal parts of the song. Listen to how the vocals ring clear and pristine throughout this part. There's a sense of woefulness to them. The adventure is now over, but still Sonic looks forward to new adventures, and still always moving forward.
Standing here, the way ahead's becoming clear. All across these new frontiers. In my hands, I hold the ones I love. Walk forward through the cold dark. Always to new horizons.
I just have to remark on that last drum roll there. You hear how slow it is? It wasn't rushing at all, but it's so sinuous, it's so tasty, it's delicious. Don't forget to like and leave a comment. And remember our deal, if you enjoyed this, you have to subscribe.